Internet! Welcome to 2.5 Brains. This is the discussion of the latest episode of Survivor Season 40, Episode 3. We're going to talk all about it. I'm your host, Yo Grabba Gabba. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything. Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/Pavement Road Productions. You can like our YouTube channel, subscribe right there so you get all the updates whenever they come out, when all these shows that we do. And and you can also email the show directly, pavementroadproductions@gmail.com, to let us know what you think and email the show directly. Go ahead and bring in the co-host, Jessica.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the show, Jessica.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm fine.
Good. So, what did you think of the episode, Jessica? Let's go ahead and dive in here. What did you think of the episode?
I mean, it was a little bit of a change up in some stuff, so I guess that part was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was definitely a strange episode, but it was entertaining at least.
Yeah.
I don't know how much I liked it, but it was entertaining.
Yeah.
So entertaining is not my only factor, right? So.
Yeah. That's your number one factor.
I mean, yeah, entertainment is good. Obviously, that doesn't necessarily make it a great or a bad show. If it's entertaining, it helps.
Yeah.
But there's things I look for in Survivor other than just weirdness.
Yeah. True.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
So, anything you want to add, or do you want to just dive in here and get started?
Probably just dive on into that ocean.
Dive on in. We'll get started. We'll talk about things as we go through. So, we're going to talk about three moments that mattered, why the losing contestant lost, and then the top three and bottom three of who was left. So let's go ahead and start with the three moments that mattered. What is moment number one?
Midnight boat ride.
Yeah, what's that all about?
So, I don't remember how it happened now. I just remember, you can...
So they found an advantage.
That's it.
A secret advantage, whatever, by... Or whatever it's called. Yeah, like a risky...
Beware advantage.
Beware advantage.
They're all called beware advantages, so there's really no difference to any of them, except what it is, I guess.
Right, so they found it by the fire. Whoever's kind of tending the fire would find it. So who found it?
Brad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I can't remember her name. I'm blanking
Sydney.
out. Yeah, Sydney. And then Tiffany.
Tiffany, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so what do they have to do?
In the middle of the night, there's going to be a boat that pulled up to their beach. They had to get on without anybody noticing that they were leaving.
That wasn't necessarily part of it, but...
No, I mean, it did say to sneak off the beach and not let people know, but, I mean, some people knew because of their alliances, so...
Right.
Mm-hmm. And they were good to go there to make a decision. So either they could all pick to get a tarp, and they could get a tarp to make their camp comfortable, or they could pick, a steal a vote.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the same as the other thing, that if all pick tarp, they get tarp. If one picks tarp and another picks steal a vote, they don't get the tarp, they get the steal a vote for the other person. And if everybody picks steal a vote, then they all lose their vote at the tribal council.
Right, and if they didn't get on the boat...
They lose their vote.
Right.
Their next tribal.
Correct. So that was the option. So what ended up happening?
So Brad chose steal a vote, and Tiffany and Sydney both chose tarp. But Sydney figured that Tiffany was going to choose steal a vote, so she wasn't surprised that she didn't have a tarp the next morning. However, nobody, I guess, was choosing Brad, that he was going to pick steal a vote, but I also didn't think Sydney would be upset if he did.
Yeah, she did.
She was more mad with Tiffany.
Yeah, she didn't trust Tiffany. She said she wanted Brad to have the steal a vote. So she figured that would be how it would go.
Mm-hmm.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. So that was how that went. I do like when they get to mix across tribal lines and kind of get to meet each other and that kind of thing and have some interaction. I don't necessarily love the prisoner's dilemma constantly being a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure if they do this again in the future, they'll have something else with it.
I don't know if they're keeping it the same theme all the time, so it's gonna get annoying if it's always the same thing.
Right, and I mean what I mean by that is that like next season they'll switch up a little bit because they're gonna keep this idea going of meeting. Cause I like the meeting people from other tribes and getting cross tribal alliance and that kind of stuff. I like the idea. I just don't like how they're doing it right now.
I mean, it's fine to do that, but yeah, change it up. Maybe go there and have them play a mini game against each other or something to win something, or do it for food or something too. Like, I don't know. I'm getting sick of it's basically the same thing, except this time they didn't have to turn a wheel, but they still basically had to pick in the same way. So it didn't change anything.
Right, and then it was instead of being an extra vote, it was for a steal a vote.
Right.
And and so the reward, there's no more reward challenges. I'm fine with that. But and of course they're doing the reward with immunity, which is fine. And that way they can do 3 challenges. The 3 tribes, then the first place tribe gets a reward as well, or a bigger reward as well, which is, I like that idea.
Yeah.
There's so many advantages in the game now. So many people not voting. It's so hard to keep it straight, and they have to have the information there instead of like where they're from. They put no vote, 1 vote, steal a vote, whatever. It's just
because there's so many things flying around.
Right.
And really, in essence, this season, there isn't like an immunity advantage anywhere. Like it's a joint one. But if everybody doesn't have it, then there's really no immunity idol. So it is completely different than before, and I don't know if I like that or not.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, I guess the only thing is the shot in the dark thing. The 6-sided die is like the only immunity thing.
Yeah, but it's not you get an immunity idol and you can use it and you're good. Like there's no security of that anymore.
For sure. So it's definitely interesting. There's some things about it I like, some things that I don't like, but I feel like they do. Again. They do this idea again with meeting the people in the tribes, that kind of thing. Season 42 or beyond. I think they're gonna have to do something different, like mix it up a little bit. Like it's kind of like Ghost Island. Ghost Island would have been fine had they had the game to play every time, or like Edge or Island of the Idol, same idea.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's some things that. The idea of it was good. They just didn't execute it great.
Well, Edge of Extinction was different between the 2 seasons.
I mean, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the first season was that they couldn't really do anything to get off of it, and the second season technically it was the season 40. It was the idols or whatever, but it was still basically like a Extinction Ghost Island because they had 39. The opportunity to come back in.
Oh, okay. So 39. Well, 39. I meant to say 39 if I said it wrong. So 39 and 36. 36 was Ghost Island one season when they got to go there and get advantages and everything.
Yeah.
And then 39 was they got to go beat Rob and Sandra and do a game. And then but also I liked the idea that
40 plus Chris's season.
Right, so 38 and 40
was
Extinction Island when they had the fire tokens, which I thought was a cool idea, but now they can't really do it because.
Well, yeah, and that was fine. But the season before, they didn't have fire tokens.
Right.
All they had to do was sit on an island and try and get the chance to get back in.
Right.
Except they did it better the second time and at least had them doing something there instead of just sitting on their butts.
Right, and getting a chance to win, fire tokens so they could buy advantages to get back in the game. Yeah. Yada yada yada. So all those things, they usually they usually do something. They do something else. They do the same type of thing a couple seasons later and they tweak it, and they usually do it better the second time. I'm not sure if I like it, if I liked it. I didn't like Blood vs. Water as much the second time as I did the first time, but at least it was a little different too. So that's also fine. So if you're going to do it, tweak it a little bit. I think that's the right way to go.
Yeah.
I think that's what we were trying to get at for this whole thing.
I was going to say, speaking of, you're talking about immunity challenges and advantages and the food stuff. Like, there's barely any of the food advantages or what do you call it? The food rewards.
Yeah.
And like I said before, with the last food one, they actually, after 40 seasons, got smart. Instead of feeding people crap that's just going to taste good and make them feel sick, they gave them fruit for once.
Right.
Like, why don't they do grilled chicken? I don't want KFC after not eating for days. I want a grilled chicken and, fruit and a salad.
Well, right. And
anything's going to kill your stomach, but that's better than a fried chicken or any of that stuff.
Well, right.
Cake, beer... It doesn't sound good.
No, not if not eating for that all the time, right? And the thing is, it's funny. And I mean, I guess they do the beer because people get drunk and they're funny. But like Carl and other people.
And then they don't show them all vomiting and going to the bathroom pretty poorly the next couple of days.
Sometimes they do, but not a lot. They use not anymore at least. But I remember Michelle's season 32. There was the season that had all the evacuations. They had an evacuation on season 32 of a 70-year-old guy, Joe Del Campo. He was ripped. He was an old guy, but he was freaking ripped. And he did, he's very health conscious, and that, and he was in great shape. And he won a reward where he won a bunch of kebabs. And he had a bunch of kebabs, and he doesn't really eat meat much anyways. And it just destroyed him.
Yeah.
And he got it pulled from the game from it.
Not surprised. They feed them shit when they haven't eaten. That's what's going to happen.
Exactly.
Fuel them so they can play the game. We're watching because we want to watch them play the game.
Right. not be blah and boring and everything else.
Right.
Like Eric and Heather, who aren't on Erica and Heather who aren't on the show.
Yeah, who?
Exactly. And then, and I guess the only other thing I would say is the freaking Flint thing's so stupid, but that's neither here nor there.
The Flint thing I'm so sick of.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it anymore. Like, just that's not a torture. It's fine. It's whatever.
It's just stupid. It's pointless.
It's an annoyance to me.
Yeah. They're not showing.
Let alone to them.
Well, they're not showing anything that comes of it. Like, what's coming of it? Nothing,
Like,
as far as we know.
Should did better.
Right.
I gotta be quicker than that.
Exactly.
Like, okay, enough.
Anyways, what's
so
moment
the whole
number
topic
2?
was supposed to be about Midnight Boat Ride. We talked about that.
Yep.
Yeah, moving on. JD gets caught is number 2.
What happened with that?
So JD found the advantage, I found the quote unquote immunity idol that doesn't have power, and he was holding it from his allies and.
No. That was Brad who found that. JD had the extra vote from the time before when they had to turn the wheel.
He also found the thing.
Brad did.
Okay.
Remember?
Yes. Oh, I'm getting confused. You talk about it. Yeah.
So JD found he had the secret hit.
He had it sticking out of his belt. That's
Yes.
what it was.
Yeah, he had the extra vote that he got from going to the tribal council when he got the extra vote when him and like the first time they went to the thing the prisoner's dilemma thing.
Yes.
And he went there and he got the extra vote and they were getting ready to go to tribal council and he stuck it in his pants and he got caught. People do it all the time, they never get caught. JD got caught within his pants.
Well, you let the piece of paper sticking out of your pants, people are gonna ask questions.
Yep, and so Shan called him out and Ricard and they were like, we can't trust him, blah, 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 what do we do?
Yeah.
And they're talking about, voting him out.
I mean, he's hiding things from you. He's supposed to be your alliance. Or if you're gonna hide it, make sure you actually fucking hide it. Effing hide it.
It's okay. We'll just make this one not for kids. So I mean, the whole thing is too. I mean, the way I see it too, it's like you should hide things. You shouldn't tell everything. Well, talk about with Brad. You shouldn't tell everything to all your allies. You should keep some things to yourself.
Right.
Knowledge is power, and if you give it away for free, you're gonna lose. That's the big time survivor lesson. If you're gonna give away knowledge, you gotta have a price for the knowledge that you have. And so you shouldn't give everything away, but you also just can't get caught. Mm-hmm. Bottom line. And he got caught. So he got put in hot water. It looked like for sure it was going to be Brad going out, and then JD got caught. Mm-hmm. And it shifted things quite a bit.
Yep.
Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
What's next?
Brad is voteless. Yeah,
so what happened with that? So Brad found out, he found the idol, right, that Xander found. And he had to talk about broccoli being little trees.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. So no, the third one wasn't found, so you can't vote.
Right. Yeah. So he was like talking about how he's getting so skinny. He looks like a piece of broccoli, which broccoli is just basically a bunch of little trees. Mm-hmm. And Xander goes, yeah. He goes, I can tell by not eating. I was talking about being butterflies being dead relatives coming to visit us last time. So I know I'm losing my mind. Mm-hmm. And that was a 2-1, and then the blue team never said anything. Yeah. Even though Evie told I think Deshaun about how the idol works. Mm-hmm. But there's only 2, so Brad couldn't vote, and Xander still can't vote.
Yeah. I don't think she told him how it works, though, because that's what we were saying, that while they were on the island together, she should have mentioned to the blue team about that idol.
So
being
Brad,
out there.
I was saying Brad should have told Sydney, yes. Because Evie when they had to do the prisoner's dilemma last time, she told Deshaun.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. So I said Brad, if he was saying he should have told Sydney, hey Sydney, find the idol.
Yeah.
Activate it so I can have mine, Xander can have his, whatever. But that maybe Tiffany doesn't want Xander to have his, obviously, I'm sure.
Well, yeah.
So that would have maybe screwed things up a little bit for her.
Yeah.
But Brad,
they would have sent her on a spiral.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. But Brad couldn't vote, so they go to tribal council, and he got the extra vote, or the vote steal.
Got the steal vote, yeah.
And now, apparently he said that he couldn't use it. I don't know. I mean, I guess he can't steal a vote if he can't vote.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
But what I would have done is had
Jeannie,
because his number 1 ally, steal, like, Ricard's vote.
Yeah.
Or whoever's vote. Yeah. But then again, if it's a tie, they revote, they probably can only vote once anyways. So you're probably wasting it. So I don't know. It's a tough situation, but Brad couldn't vote in the very, very critical tribal council. Yeah. There's only 5 people there. One of them can't vote. One has an extra vote needed.
Right.
it's
The
all
same
good.
person that can't vote.
Well, he has a steal a vote, and then JD has an extra vote.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yep.
So, so he has a steal a vote. He can't vote. He has a steal a vote he can't use, and he can't vote. JD has an extra vote, and there's only 5 people voting, and 5 people there. So, it's tough. And they said JD, he's been holding on to that thing. I guess he knows where the votes are going because I'd be freaking out. I would be playing that
At
sooner rather than
that
later.
point, yeah, I would have too.
Yeah, for sure. There's so many advantages in the game now too. I mean, it said what I think Danny has one an extra vote. He hasn't been a tribal yet though, so I guess he doesn't have. I don't know. He hasn't gotten it yet because he hasn't come in a tribal, I guess. And then, who else? I think that's it, right? Deshaun. Or no. Danny and JD have extra votes. Brad had a steal vote. And Xander has the idol and he can't vote. So it's all up in the air. But this is the first. I think this is the first time in Survivor history.
Xander, I thought, has 2 votes as well. He went to the island.
He might, but he can't vote. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, so that makes sense. Either way, regardless, I think this is the first time in Survivor history somebody got voted out without being able to vote.
Really? I feel like it's happened before.
Like with 0 votes casted. I mean, obviously his ally voted with him, but he couldn't vote and he got voted out without being able to vote.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I feel like that's what it is. But actually no, it happened to Chris. What's his name? Happened to Chris Noble in the merge of Ghost Island.
Charlie Noble.
Yes, Tommy Noble, freaking Tommy Noble.
Hammersticks.
Yeah, Johnny Hammersticks. Exactly.
Being a beep.
Exactly. So you already said the F word. Who cares? Just say what you want. Anyway, so
Shut the fuck up.
yeah, exactly. So and then JD.
Seahorses forever.
Exactly. I feel like JD is gonna really. I don't know. I feel like he's going way too high, way too fast. Like I think he. I'm surprised he hasn't gone out already because he really is really happy. He's really enjoying being there and. He's talking about how much Survivor means to him and all that stuff, which is great.
Listen, you want to play safe or you want to play Survivor?
Playing Survivor also sometimes is playing safe. But either way, he's doing woo voice. He was doing a Reem voice.
He was imitating them.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure if he was mocking them though.
No, I don't know, but he's he obviously knows the game really really well, and that's not a great thing. Like that's true. You shouldn't be doing all that. Like I remember when Max Dawson and Shreen were doing that and their tribe, and they're like talking about. Yeah, they're talking about the zodiac signs of the different contestants. Like nobody cares, and the fact that you know that is terrifying to other people.
You know way too much about other people.
Right, and it's terrifying to the other players. The other players don't want to hear that. They don't want to know that you know everything about the game inside out. That's terrifying. Like there's super fans, and there's people. Then there's that, and then there's casual fans, and there's normal people.
Yeah, I don't care to know what people's zodiac signs
No.
are. I don't care to hear about it.
Right. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. So, it's way over the top. So, he's got to be careful with that because he's been doing it way too much. Mm-hmm. And they're laughing because they think it's funny, but it's also like, in the back of their mind, they got to be like rolling their eyes. All right. So, anyways. Anything else you want to talk about? What happened? Who lost and why?
We can talk about who lost and why.
Okay. So, who lost and why?
Brad. Because he overgave his information to who he thought was an ally, and I'm disappointed in you, Shan, but that's okay.
Still your winner pick.
I know. She did what she had to do, but trust Brad more. The other guy doesn't seem that sad about wanting to stab you in the back or do anything behind your back to you, so that's stuff you kind of got to look out for, too. I guess it's easier to keep the people that trust you a lot and stab them in the back later, I guess.
I would have kept Brad just for the simple fact that Brad's playing a very slow game.
Yeah.
And he's being very, very honest, where JD's shown to be a little bit shady.
Well, right. Brad would have went and spied on them for you and then told you everything you needed to know. Like,
right.
You keep that stuff around.
Right. He was very loyal. And like I said, his mistake... To a fault. And that's, of course, what I was going to say. He took he said, hey, Shan, I got to tell you, I have the idol, and I need them to... say this phrase for it to be activated or I can't vote. And then she's like, oh, wow. And then he told her, also, I have a steal a vote.
I would have stopped at just one. If you really wanted to tell her something, give her some information.
If you're going to do that, right. Give her the thing about how you can't vote because that affects her because if she's trying to vote with you, whatever. But now when you tell her, hey, I have all this stuff, she probably was going to be loyal to him until he showed her how dangerous he was because he has all these advantages.
Yeah.
You know, like, honestly, if JD was lying to her, it's like, all right, who do I go with? The person who's lying to me or the person who's got tons of ammunition to go against me? Right? I mean, it's tough to say.
Lying is also ammunition, though.
Of course, I would have voted for JD. But Brad didn't help himself.
No, but you got to trust the people that say, like, I got this for us. That's being upfront to his alliance. It says, I got this for us. If they're going to use it to help the people that they're working with.
Right, and I agree.
And you also know that information about that person, so if you do make it to the merge with them and you want to get rid of them, like, you know what to use against them.
Yeah, I know. I agree. I think, you know, Brad giving her all that stuff was way too much. You like, if you have information, like I said, best thing about Ben, when he played the Ben bombs, best thing about him was he knew information and he leveraged it well.
Bend over.
Ben Driebergen? Yeah. The best thing about him was he had information and he used it to his advantage. Mm-hmm. Right? You know, it's very I think Adam Klein was good with that too. A lot of players who win, they understand that. I mean, other than, you know, the quote unquote fire tokens, the currency in Survivor is knowledge and information. And the more information you have about, like I said, if you know where all the idols are, if you know where everything is, then you can kind of, even if you don't have them, you can kind of play around them and know what's going on. But, you know, in somebody's lying to you, that's not good. You don't want them. You know, you want to get rid of them. But if you have something, like I said, like Tony, right? He had a bag of tricks. His first time he played. He had idols.
Tricks?
Huh?
Did he have milk to go with that? Tricks?
Yeah, exactly. Cereal. Yes, he was a bunny. He was once only a bunny, for sure. But he had his bag, and he would not, you know, he'd have stuff in it. He's like, I'm not gonna tell you what's in my bag. I'm gonna tell you what's in my bag. And then he would have an idol that wasn't even a real idol, but he'd say, hey, it has different powers, so I can use it till the final 2 or final 3, and they would be like, you know, they'd be shocked, you know, and he would change rules of the game. He took everything he could. He took like a piece of an idol he had, an idol clue for his beach, and he gave it to somebody else on the other team to throw shade on them. Like, you know, he's a genius player, but knowledge is so important. And when you have knowledge, when you can change things around, when you know where things are or who has them, you know, if you want to tell Shan something, hey Shan, I found an idol, but here's how it works. And they let her in on that. If you want to do that, that's fine. He just found it this episode. Right? So you can let her in on that information. That's great. Because him and Jeannie found it. So Jeannie already knew. So that's great. We want to let Shan know about it. Awesome. But you have to keep some information yourself. And he showed her everything. Like, I feel like he was so excited to tell people about it that he had to just tell her.
Mm-hmm. So now, like I said before, with him being out, what happens to his idol? Does it go back on the beach? I mean, obviously it has to go back on the beach, or was he allowed to leave it to somebody?
Right.
Because only 2 people know about it, so Jeannie and Shan are going to be out there going like crazy. And if Shan's stupid, she'll tell everybody else that she knows there's going to be one out there because Brad had it, which would be dumb. She shouldn't say anything and just go to get it herself. But
yeah, or Jeannie. But
it's her and Jeannie are the only ones that know, so they're both going to be looking for it.
Right.
But, like, don't tell Ricard and JD about it.
Right, for sure. So, and of course, I'm sure they're looking for idols, but they wouldn't know necessarily how it works.
They are, but because JD says to tell everybody that says that finding idols is easy is stupid.
Yeah.
So it's because there aren't any. There's just that one, and it was already found.
Yeah. So it's tough. I mean, I don't know. You know, I assume they have to rehide it because
They have to, otherwise it won't work.
Otherwise, it won't work for anybody else.
Need a 3-piece, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. But the whole thing, I think Brad lost just because he wanted to give out. He wanted to give information because he was really excited about stuff he found, so he wanted to give it away. But you also need to understand if you're going to give away information, you have to slowly give it away. Like, hey, I just found this. You know, like when you tell somebody I have this advantage and this advantage, this advantage, this advantage, they're like, well, why am I keeping this guy? He's got so many advantages. Mm-hmm. I have no advantages. He has 4 advantages, 3 advantages, 2 advantages. I gotta get rid of him.
Yeah, I mean the one was really a disadvantage though.
True.
It wasn't actually active.
But if he got activated, now he's got all the power. Now he can use his idol and steal a vote.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous. So we'll see what happens. But I think it was. I mean, that was the problem I think for Brad. He wanted to tell too many people. He gave away too much information. And if you're gonna give away the information, you gotta get something in return.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big problem.
Yeah.
Now, did he give something to somebody to hold on to?
Yeah, he gave Shan his extra vote to hold on to until after tribal.
Okay, so I assume it has no power now, because if it wasn't hers, then
Not Brad, JD.
oh, JD, right.
Shan,
His extra
yeah,
vote.
to get her.
Right, to get her trust. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So right. Okay, I was thinking Brad.
I
Okay.
mean,
There's so many.
I thought about that too. I feel like Brad should have gave Jeannie his stuff and said, if I get eliminated, you can have this, but if I'm still here, I want it back.
Yeah.
To help her out.
Right.
Yeah,
but then she might have voted him out just to do that. But either
Yeah.
way, I mean.
But if you trust your alliance, then I guess you do it. But
Yeah.
you can't trust anybody in Survivor.
Yeah,
So.
and I think that was the right move. I think he would have been better to give it to somebody who can actually vote.
Yeah.
Even if you don't want to blow it.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. But I think, I don't know. I think that was the right decision, especially and of course he probably couldn't use his 3-sided die either because he can't vote, so he can't lose his vote, right? So I'm sure he couldn't have
But
or
I
a
thought the
6-sided die.
3-sided die was just to give you a chance to gain immunity.
Yeah,
So he could have done that.
because you have to risk your vote to play it.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, then no.
So he probably couldn't play that.
Yeah.
So there's and like I said, there's so much going on. It's getting confusing. JD has an extra vote, and then Brad has a steal vote. It's like, oh my god.
I don't really like all that.
It's a little bit too much. It's a little too much.
Give me the immunity idols that people can find on the beach, and then a little bit of something else. I don't want to have to follow this stuff all the time.
Right, for sure. And they obviously they put it.
It's a new Survivor. That's all you keep hearing about. It really is a new Survivor. I guess. I don't need it.
I don't really think so, but I guess there's so much going on. They have to put the little chyron on there about how much they have and what advantages they have or disadvantages they have. Or they did last season the fire tokens. It's like, oh my gosh, we get it, we get it. Right.
Get my handy dandy notebook.
It's way too much.
Sit in my chair, get my dog.
Yeah.
Find the clues.
Exactly. They used to have clues to the idols, not anymore.
Huh?
They used to have clues to the idols, not anymore.
Yeah, well now I just have to write it down in my handy dandy notebook. Who's got what?
Exactly. So it's definitely over the top, and I don't know if it's really really necessary. But
yeah.
Anyways,
Mm-hmm.
so let's go ahead and talk about. So that's why Brad lost. Let's go ahead and talk about top 3, bottom 3. Starting with the bottom 3.
Mm-hmm. Jeannie.
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Either order is fine.
Oh.
That order it really doesn't matter.
You have it written in a weird order, so I have to ask.
So Jeannie is in the bottom. Why?
Because her number 1 alliance is gone. She's kind of all by herself.
Yep, that's really it. That's all I put Jeannie on there. I mean, she's obviously on the bottom now. Nobody's really been talking about getting rid of her. She seems like she's okay, in the alliance and everything like that. But they vote out.
She's also just kind of there.
Well, for sure. She's she's not getting much airtime and everything like that. So there are some women who are getting a lot of airtime, and then there's some women who are getting no airtime, and all the guys are getting some airtime. And it's usually the way it is. Like it's usually like the people who are purple are usually the women. The women, most of the time, most people who don't get airtime are women. But in this case, there's someone who are getting a ton of airtime, some women who are getting no airtime, and all the guys are getting, So it's like the people who are getting the most airtime are women. People who are getting the least airtime are women, and then the guys are all getting some airtime. So it's weird, but that's it for Jeannie. I think that's really her. She lost her number 1 ally, was blindsided by the vote, and I think if they go to another tribal council, she's gone.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like they're probably gonna swap or something. So they probably won't, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Who's next?
JD.
So why is JD on the bottom?
Because he lost his alliance's trust with holding information, but mostly it's just getting caught by his alliance that he had information he didn't tell them.
And that's it, right? I mean, you don't want to give. I mean, Brad was the opposite. Brad gave away all his information, got voted out. JD didn't give away the information he had, and almost got voted out. So
what does this teach you?
It's a fine line.
Lie your ass off.
Right. I mean, really, it's it's a fine line. You gotta
Don't tell the truth to people because they only just stab you in the back for it.
So I really think that's pretty accurate. I mean, the whole thing is, information. It's all bottom line. Information is important. If the information comes out, that you weren't telling the truth, that's bad. If you have information and nobody knows about it, that's good. If you have information and you give it away for nothing, that's also bad. So it's like your best case scenario is to have information and then listen. You know what you know about yourself. Have the advantages, and listen to hear everything else. The best thing you can do in Survivor is listen, because you'll get information for nothing.
Man, that'd be so hard for you to play.
I know. I talk too much. Anyways, anything else you want to talk about? Who else is on the bottom three? The final person on the bottom three.
Our final person, Naseer.
So Naseer was doing so well. He started off really bad. Then last week they were talking about, wow, he's great. He's catching his food and everything like that.
Yeah, he's starting fires, keeping the camp running smoothly.
But this week things changed. What happened?
He woke up Sydney in the middle of the night and said that they had to get rid of Danny. Yes, I forget his name. Danny.
Yeah. So he woke her up like in the middle of the night, or we're talking to her in the middle of the night. He's like, I had a dream where we have to get rid of Danny. Mm-hmm. It's like the Cowboys bad wind thing. So Cowboy on Survivor, there's a guy named Cowboy, and he had a dream about somebody, and he said they had a bad wind, so he had to get rid of them. It was like a bad
Did they get rid of him, or did they keep?
They got a Cowboy.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
He said the person had a bad wind, so they have to get rid of him because he basically got bad vibes, and so they got rid of him.
She is terrible.
Yeah, exactly. So he woke her up. Sydney was talking to Sydney in the middle of the night. He says, "Don't tell Danny," and so they all are going out and talking to Danny.
They're all on the beach talking to Danny, and he's sitting back at camp all by himself.
Right.
All by himself.
Exactly. And so, but the thing is, right? So Naseer told Sydney, "We have to go with Danny. Don't tell Danny." Then Danny and the rest of them are sitting there talking, and Naseer's not there. And Naseer's sitting out by himself. He goes, "I'm sorry, guys. English is not my first language, so I'm sorry if I said something that doesn't make sense."
He's like, "Let's just get it out in the open right away so we can talk about it and move on from it." He said, "I'm sorry if I've said something to offend anyone. English is not my first language." It's like, that's not what it is. English was perfectly fine when you're telling Sydney you don't like Danny. So.
Right, and he threw Danny and Deshaun out there on day one too. So.
Well, yeah, but also, why would you just sit there and watch everybody sitting on the beach? Like, just get down there.
Right, he's not a good player, unfortunately.
Who cares if they didn't invite you? That's the point. Get down there.
I really want to like him, but he's not a good player. He's not doing well, and that's too bad. I
did like him last week. I was positive that he was gonna stay.
I liked him too, and my biggest thing right now, I think, my problem with him, I guess I would say, is he doesn't. Like, I said, I'm all about I'm all for the diversity and like that, but does Naseer really need to be there? Could you get a better player instead?
Yeah, but it's hard to tell how people are actually gonna play when they get there, because everybody can talk big talk. That's how life is. That's how people work. They can talk. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be this person, and then once it comes time, they don't.
Right.
So, you can't determine if he's gonna do things or not.
Which is true. He doesn't speak great English, so that's part of the problem too. It's hard to get him to say stuff on the show. I guess it's an extra challenge for him as opposed to something else. But I just feel like if they weren't trying to check the box, they could have had more options.
Yeah, I mean, it also depends on the personality, I guess, when he was talking to them there, and then your personality when you're around a bunch of strangers. Like, unless you're an outgoing person, I guess it's harder. But you can't really play the game unless you're an outgoing person. For sure.
So, I don't know. Well, obviously, it's social games so important if you don't speak great English and everything like that. And I guess it's an extra challenge. There's been people who, there's been deaf contestants, people contestants with one leg, that kind of thing. So, like, it's, that's an extra challenge for them too. But, I think
they're able to talk to people.
Well, right. And the bottom line is, that's an extra challenge.
It's also hard to relate.
Right.
I mean, he's from a whole different country and the way he grew up and stuff, so he can't relate to what everybody else grew up with or whatnot, but they could all talk to each other about things. That's what you do. You learn about people.
Absolutely. So he didn't have a great week, and he's back on the bottom again after a good week last week. Yeah. So let's talk about the top three. Who's in the top three this week? Who's number 3?
Shan.
So Shan, why is she in the top 3?
Because she has all the power. She got the power.
Exactly. I think it.
You like my musical melodies?
Exactly. Good. You're adding the sound drop. You're doing it on your own.
I wish I had the button.
Yeah, exactly. You got the button.
I need a soundboard.
You are a soundboard.
Yeah. I got the power.
So Shen has the power, but she also let's say she was a swing vote. She made the decision. Yeah. I think she may have pissed off Jeannie with her decision, but Jeannie is only one person, so we'll see what happens if there's a swap or merge, whatever. The merge from 3 tribes to 2 tribes. They'll probably have to soon because they're getting down to now 2 of the tribes only have 4 people left, so
Right.
you may have to swap sooner rather than later.
Probably.
So I would assume maybe 1 more week, if that. Get down to 13 and then swap there, or whatever. But
Team of 1.
or just swap or just merge at 12, or I don't know, whatever. Either way, so they gotta be merging soonish because it's whatever. But I mean, I think. So I mean, I think she has the power. She's in a swing position. She's definitely controlling the game for the most part. Basically, but it's at the same time, she had so she's been in overall in good control, but this wasn't. I don't think this vote was her call. I don't think she made the call on this one necessarily.
She wasn't in control of it. She just went with what Ricard said.
Right, and I think the good thing is I think she is not really, even though she did piss off Jeannie. I think she has the best social game on the island. I think she's the most strategic on the island of that tribe.
Yeah.
So I think she's the most strategic and most social on her tribe. So whether that translates to her going on further in the game, I don't know. But I think she's the best person. I think she's the best player on her tribe.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Who's number 2?
Tiffany.
Tiffany. Why Tiffany?
Because she doesn't want to play it safe. She wants to play Survivor.
Yeah, she got, she had a good week. She, basically, came back from I was really thinking they were going to be all mad at her from kind of blowing up the vote last time.
Yeah.
They really weren't. And she's in a decent alliance with her final, with her 3 people. If they go out and Xander's probably next. So, I mean, she's in an okay spot. And I really think she gets one or 2 more votes. She gets to the merge.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think anybody's coming after Tiffany because she's not a threat.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure I agree with her being in the top 3 because she's also a loose cannon to her other people. And, I don't know. I mean, she did well. What is ironic, she did so grand in the freaking challenge this week over a rope, but she couldn't walk over a flipping piece of wood. That's so much easier, but she killed it more this week. It's like, I don't understand that. Like, sometimes I think she's throwing it on purpose.
I don't know. It's possible. She didn't do that great. I mean,
she's fine. I feel like Shan probably had a better week than her.
I think she had a better week than her. I just put Tiffany on here because, again, she was in a bad spot last week, and she's in a better spot.
She's still fine after being delirious and crazy and having them change their vote.
Right. Sorry I'm boring you, Bailey. Sorry, Sleepy Bailey.
He just growled. I can't touch him.
Exactly. Can't touch this.
Exactly.
Can't touch this.
That was your soundboard, not me.
Cool. Let's finish up here with the player of the week this week is...
Ricard.
Yeah. Why Ricard?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why Ricard?
I mean, he basically controlled the vote, and Shan allowed him to.
Yeah.
If she didn't, then he would have been 3rd, and she would have been number 1.
Yeah. But it's sometimes if you're like not 100% in either camp, letting somebody else take the reins is what you want to do. Like, Adam Klein is maybe the best player to ever do this. He'd be like, all right, here's who I want to get rid of. Like, I want to get rid of this one. So he just jump on that one. He's the greatest barnacle to ever play Survivor. Right? He'd jump on with this side, and then that person would be taken out. He'd jump before they got taken out. He'd jump over that side, and then that person would be taken out. He'd jump over to that side. He would always be the one who would be the second in command on every vote.
Yeah.
And Shan was the second in command in this vote, so it's good for her. You don't want to be the one out front because you're gonna be the one taking the bullets.
No, but I feel like you need to have enough of alliance outside of him then to protect you if you want to get rid of him.
And that's why, correct. And that's why the tribe
Jenny would be fine with it, but it's JD that you need to know if he's that loyal to you.
Right. And right. So it's the thing is right now it's going to be, because now there's 4 left. So it's like, all right, you got Jeannie. Is Jeannie with you or is Jeannie with him? Okay. And now you got JD. Is JD with you or is JD with him? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where it comes out. And that's what that's a tough part of playing a 6-player tribe. Because now you want to take out your number 1 ally. Who's left to do that, right? So I'm not saying she wants to, but Ricard made the decision this week. It was his vote. He wanted Brad gone. He got the call. He made the call and took the shot and got it, right? I still think Shan is the better player. I think she's doing better in the game. My concern is that you know,
Can't always go along with it, or you're just gonna be another Laurel.
right, for sure. And I think she's kind of made moves. She's been okay. She's been probably the better player. With Ricard, he made this move, so that's fine. But now again, it's at some point you got to be like, all right, now it's my move.
That's what I mean. You can go along to get along, but then it'll be you, Wendell, and Joe
Dom.
or Dom at the end, and then you lose because you didn't do anything. They brought you with them.
No, for sure, and I agree. So I think Ricard. I think Ricard was the player of the week this week, but I still think Shannon is in the best spot overall because I think as long as she can keep her alliances together, I think she'll be good. You give because at some point.
I just think she's more social than him.
Oh, for sure.
I don't see him talking to other people that much or being as friendly, so that's her selling point.
I mean, she's a pastor, so she has to be able to talk to all these kinds of people.
Yeah, but she said she's a pastor, but she'll stab you, cut you down, and stab you in the back. It's like, I don't want to hear my pastor saying that.
Right, exactly.
Listen, I'm your pastor, but when it comes to winning $1 million, I'll cut you.
Exactly.
I want to hear that.
And I'll pray for you and send you.
I'll pray for you and then I'll cut you.
Right. And I'll ask for forgiveness.
That's
That's funny. I think I agree though. I think she is the best player in the game right now. Your winner picks is good so far.
That's it. I'm losing.
But I mean, knock on wood, she can easily get knocked out. Next. But I mean, and Bailey just looked up first numbers. No one's here.
It's
Shut
okay.
up.
It's okay.
It's okay. We love you. We were just knocking on wood for her winner pick.
That was funny.
So that's all. I mean, I think that's really all I wanted to say about that. I mean, I think the point is, Ricard had to make the move, and he said when you're in control of the game, the last thing you want to do is be like I'm make every decision, and not listen to anybody else.
Listen, I'm the captain now.
Right. So the whole point, I think, for her, I think the smartest thing for her to do is to let Ricard have this one, as long as it wasn't as long as you weren't losing your number one ally. And Brad was loyal to her obviously too, but it's a little bit of a risk. But if you can let your other ally get a win, it helps long term.
Yeah.
So Ricard got the win this week. He got what he wanted, but I still think it came down to it. I think Shan would still be the one who pulled it in and made the move.
Yeah.
I still think Shan's in the best position, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
Anything else to add?
I mean, not about this week. I started to think about, wonder what's going to happen when they do finally either merge or swap tribes. Wow. Swap tribes and maybe do 2 tribes or something. Yeah. If there's going to be a girls' alliance formed eventually.
I can see it. I mean, so especially with the girls from Yellow, right? The Yellow tribe.
Yeah.
I think them and Shan could pull it in and then see what happens. Yeah. So. We'll see. It's definitely, I'm getting...
starting to speculate, that's it.
And I'm starting to kind of get over the 3 tribes now. I kind of want to see them merge to 2 or just merge to 1. Because there's only so many things more you can do when you get down to 4. Then 3 people in a tribe gets really hairy. So I really don't want to do that right now.
Yeah.
But cool. Anything else to add?
No.
I think we said what needed to be said this week.
Talk too much.
I appreciate it. So... be sure to subscribe to Miss Anything. You can like our Facebook page, facebook.com/PayMero Productions. You can like our YouTube channel, subscribe to our YouTube channel right below on the screen there. Click the subscribe button. You can email the show directly, paymeroproductions@gmail.com. Keep subscribing and keep an eye out for more. We're going to have a lot more to come. All kinds of different shows. Going to try to get some sports stuff and some other stuff out as well as soon as possible. Thanks for listening. Obviously, having this show weekly, we don't have time as much to do other shows as we want, but we'll definitely keep trying to get as much out. As long as you guys keep listening, we'll keep getting them out. Anything else to add, Jessica?
No.
All right. I don't have anything else either. Thanks for listening. I've got nothing else for you because the tribe has spoken.